A form of rapid prototyping, Scribble Sketch Storyboard allows the user to map out an idea and then receive feedback on that idea, using that feedback to speak into the iterative process as they implement that particular idea. This topic was selected because we have subject matter experts available who will be able to cover the material in a 2-hour workshop. There are multiple people within the organization who would benefit, but our organization itself would benefit as Scribble Sketch Storyboarding helps to reduce the investment of money and time made as a product is developed. The workshop would also be able to be tested at an innovation symposium planned for later this year. The needs assessment was conducted by identifying a target group. A sample group of 14 was then sent a 6-question survey which assessed the target group's current knowledge of Scribble Sketch Storyboarding, their perceived interest, as well as what they believed to be potential use for this technique. 9 people responded to the survey and the results were collated, evaluated, and assessed. The results of the survey indicated that the currently used techniques, not Scribble Sketch Storyboard related, were rated at approximately 79% effective. The majority of those surveyed had never used this technique, while at the same time most of them saw a use for this technique, believing they could use it at least on a weekly basis. Almost all of those surveyed expressed an interest in receiving instruction on Scribble Sketch Storyboarding. As a result, this was the goal statement that was developed. The interest is to allow participants to be able to rapidly develop and iterate ideas. It is expected that this workshop could be contained within an innovation symposium that's been hosted at the Salvation Army's Conference Center in West Nyack, New York. There are certain limitations that need to be considered in addition to the limited time of approximately 2 months to develop this instruction. The fact that there are only 2 subject matter experts, as well as the delivery method that needs to really be on a face-to-face level based on the type of instruction. Our finances are limited because the Innovation Symposium has been offered free of charge. In addition to that, the Conference Center has placed specific limitations on us. The learner has been determined as needing to be somebody who is currently employed with the Salvation Army. This gives us a unique cultural context in which to unpack the Scribble Sketch Storyboarding technique and relevant examples that will be able to be used for this particular audience. If these are adults that have responsibility in actually implementing and developing resources and events, the Scribble Sketch Storyboard technique would be particularly relevant to their current role within the organization. Immediate application of the skill as well as networking opportunities to unpack the implications of Scribble Sketch Storyboarding will be provided within the course. The content will be developed using a hierarchical approach, pairing both a cognitive style of teaching with an interactive hands-on skills development. The student would then select a particular project that they would apply the Scribble Sketch Storyboarding technique to within the context of the workshop. There are specific prerequisite skills that the learner should exhibit. In particular, they should be people who are already creating and developing products, processes, and resources so that there is a relevance for this particular technique to their current function. Besides being able to hold a successful interview and exhibit critical thinking skills, the participant should particularly be willing to engage in the iterative process. Receiving feedback can sometimes be a challenging experience, and unless there is a willingness to receive this feedback, the Scribble Sketch Storyboarding technique will not be successful. The learning objectives for this course are stated here. They range in hierarchical order of complexity from being able to summarize the Scribble Sketch Storyboard technique, to being able to implement and then utilize the iterative process to develop a second version of the storyboard, taking into account the feedback that they have received. Then being able to articulate how they would utilize that specific Scribble Sketch Storyboard in the implementation of their particular idea. A formative assessment could be developed by sending out a survey using SurveyMonkey, exploring the students' enjoyment of the presentation, but also its relevance to their day-to-day functionings and how they have been able to apply this technique to other ideas.